The absolute easiest transmission drain fill you ever gonna do is this 2011 Kia Sorento. Now, first thing I did is I came up under, got my little air wrench. I took off 12mm bolts. These are 12mm bolts that are holding in this splash shield. You're gonna take out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them. Take out only the 5 on driver's side. You're gonna take out 2 or 3 of these little plastic tabs right here. These little things here. You're gonna have like 2 or 3 of those. Take those out. They'll be lined up along the front. Right about here, right up under the front driver's side. They'll be lined up right about here. So take those out, fold it, push it back. Now it's sitting back there, you're good to go. First thing you're gonna do is take out your fill plug. Fill plug is short, drain plug is long. So up under here, you'll get your transmission is sitting right here. It's got a black pan on it right here. So there's your drain plug right there. It's driver's side right here. Drain plug. The fill plug is right here. Fill plug, not drain plug. The fill plug. Drain plug would be right there, a little farther back. Right about. Wait a minute. I got it dripping. It's right about here, where you can see that black stuff coming out there. Yeah, black. That's the color. It looks like oil. It's not. This thing hasn't been changed. And when I cleaned off the drain plug, I mean, that thing took 2 towels to clean off. It took me 2 towels to clean that thing off because there was so much just magnetized metal shavings on this thing. It took me 2 towels to clean off that drain plug. But like I said, drain plug is going to be long magnetic. The fill plug's short. I think it's probably magnetic too. It's got a little stuff on it. But again, it'll be right. Here's your big black pan right there. And that's where you'll have it. Wait a minute. For some reason they got, oh, there we go. And that'll be your fill plug. Take the fill plug off first, always. Because if your fill plug can't come off and you take that drain plug out, guess what? You can't move the car. Always take out the fill plug first on anything you ever do. Take it off first. And then, like I said, your drain plug is sitting right here. Both of those happen to be 15/16. This is the only tool you'll need. 15/16. Put this on, crank it to the left, crank that one to the left, you're done. That's it. Like I said, always take the fill plug off first, drain plug off second. Yeah, time to fill this thing up. Okay, so I'm done draining it. That's all that nasty black shit dripping out the transmission. Like I said, I got all new fluid here, but you know, it probably was close to about, because what I did is I filled up, there should have been 4 quarts. And it maybe gave me about 2, 3, almost 3.5 quarts probably. Maybe because I filled that one up and it should only be filled up to about here probably. Then that one's coming to about here. So it's probably only got about maybe 3.5 quarts in this thing. Maybe a little over 3.5. So it was running low anyways. Plus it was super dark. Plus I don't know how many miles was on this thing. But I think it was over 200,000 if I can remember. Okay, it was 184,000 actually. But also, as I'm up under there working, there's a drip. Now that slight drip right here, you see that drip right there? That's engine coolant. Her coolant was low, so I checked her coolant, opened it, and I topped it off for her real quick. So when you squeeze the hose, you can see the coolant coming back up now. So I topped it off because when I squeezed the hose at first, there was no coolant coming. I guess it all leaked out pretty much, or just a little bit. But she's got a leak right from the base, almost of her thermostat housing unit right here. So I don't know what we're gonna do because her lower radiator hose comes up to this inlet right here at this housing. I think it's just a gasket. So what I'm gonna tell her to do is just to keep this thing filled. It's a really small drip, but under pressure it could become a faster drip. But I think she'll have to bring it back. I have to drain at least the coolant enough to put a new gasket on that piece there. I mean, she didn't bring it over here for that, but like I said, I go through everybody's stuff. And then her power steering fluid was low. This is her power. It was way down here under minimum. So I topped it off to code max. You got code max right here. And then you got hot max over here on this side. So you put it all up to code max, and that's where you should be. Don't worry about hot max. It'll get up there in a minute. But yeah, I just kind of go over everything while I got somebody's car over here just to make sure when it leaves, it ain't coming back for something simple. But she does need to get that fixed. Like I said, it's a minor drip. And the car is cold and it's still dripping with it cold. So I know it's a gasket because it's not under pressure at all. The system is not under pressure and it's still dripping. So she's got a gasket that has to be replaced right up under here. There's, if I can get it on my finger right there. So there's a gasket right up under there that has to be replaced. Yep, I'll let her know. Okay, so now it's time to fill it. So, and you can see this is going to be nice and red, not like that black stuff you saw over there. This will be nice and red. I mean, this stuff is like oil coming out. This will be nice and red going in. But you got to get you a little pump, you know, get you a pump, because you got to pump it into the fill hole. And what you want to do is pump it into that fill hole right there until it starts leaking out. Once it starts dripping out, then you know you filled it enough. Get in the car, like put the cap back on, run the car a little bit, and kind of go through the gears back and forth a little bit, and then take it off again just to see if any comes out. If some comes out, then it's good. It went through all it usually just sits inside of a big basket anyways. It's sitting in a basket of fluid, but it'll actually help it as you're going through gears and everything, filling all the lines up, making sure all your fluid is full. You're not going to run any kind of slippage or nothing like that. So let's see how much I go through. Like I said, I took out about 3.5, maybe a little less, a little more than 3.5. So let's see how much I fill it for. This container here is actually 3.7. So if it takes this whole thing and it doesn't drip out, I know I need a little more, and I got some on the shelf anyways. Well, actually, this is 4 quarts because it's 1 gallon, 3.75 liters, my bad. So it's 4 quarts. So if it takes all 4 quarts and it still doesn't drip, I know I'm low. That filled up and everything. She took just about 3.5. I mean, there's probably about a half a quart left in here. So it took about 3.5. So it was actually good. So it wasn't leaking any transmission fluid. It took exactly what I took out. But that leak that when I filled up that coolant, that leak has got a steady drip. Like I said, there's no pressure under it at all. And it's got a good little steady drip, because it was nothing under here all night. When she parked it, there was nothing under there. After I filled it, that's what it is now. Like, you can still see it dripping right now. Because when I topped it off, because when I took her cap off, and I was like, well, there's no coolant in here. So I filled it up, and sure enough, that's where the leak is coming from, up under there. So what I'm going to do is I'm not going to send it back to her. I'm just going to fix it. I'll tell her I fixed it. I won't charge her for it. I just want to fix it because she's losing coolant, because it's not under pressure at all, and she's losing coolant. So I'm going to take those there's 3 10mm bolts. So I'm going to drain it, let all the stuff drip into these pans. All her coolant can fall into these pans. I've cleaned the pans out. And I'm going to fix the gasket and put it all back together for her. I ain't charging her for it. But, I mean, she probably don't even know how bad it's dripping. It's not under pressure, and it's put a puddle in my driveway already. So let me get on this real quick. So I came in the house to test her thermostat. So I took the little gasket off. But as you can see, the thermostat's open. So that's how you can tell. You put your thermostat, stand it up in some boiling water, and it acts like it's the coolant. And so what it does is that thermostat should pop open once it hits a certain temperature. That lets me know coolant is passing through her car. Everything's totally fine. Like I said, just throw it in a small pot. You know, you don't got to boil it that long, like maybe 5-10 minutes of that. That thermostat should pop open. It'll close by itself as it starts cooling off. I might run a little cold water through here, but like I said, you don't want to boil a gasket with it. So this right here just might be worn out. So I'll probably have to go replace a gasket or do something to make it, you know, more durable. And that's because, like I said, the thermostat's fine, so it's not locking up the thermostat. She's getting leaking with no pressure at all in her system, so this could be it. Okay, so I got the thermostat back in, got it all bolted up and everything down there. And what I ended up using was this clear silicone, clear adhesive sealant. Now what this is it's not strong enough to, you know, be like Loctite. What it is, it'll just kind of like be like rubber cement almost. But it's easy to break off, and it's easy to rub off with your fingers. I use this stuff all the time. So for anybody out there talking about oh, you shouldn't have used that, it's gonna stick. You apparently don't use this. I don't know what you use, but you don't use this. This stuff doesn't stick. It says adhesive, but it rubs off with your finger. You can just rub your fingers like this, and it just comes off in little gummy balls. Easy to do, easy to do.